I try and get to a national. There is, or an important specialty, but the national is where everything that you read comes to life. You see puppies, you see the bred by class, which is usually the best of what everybody thinks they've bred that year. You have education ringside, both formal and informal. You yourself at an Irish Setter National would get to see over 100 specials at the end. Watch the cuts, listen to people ringside. Boy, you can really learn a lot listening to people ringside. But also, it's just, you're imbued in the breed by attending a national. And we have a 2-day where you do hands-on, and then the next day you have ringside mentoring, and that mentoring rotates. You get any number of mentors sitting with you who probably talk about different components of the dog. It's a terrific experience to learn. I can't encourage people enough to get to a national. Everybody's expecting questions. You know, those sitting ringside are often looking at the little gallery that we set aside with the best view, of course, to see the dogs, for judges who are coming to Judges Ed. In fact, people who are attending the National are hoping to get questions from the people in Judges Ed. Sometimes the head of the Judges Ed for that day will ask that a dog be brought over for honest discussion. And breeders expect to say, I often say, okay, so we know your dog is great, but if you could change one thing on it, what would it be? They get to hear all of that. And you aren't going to hear that anywhere else. So get to a National.
We've spent many years and lots of time and some money on judges' education. But judges can only judge what comes in the ring. And what comes in the ring is what comes from breeders. Breeders have to study not just the standard, but the techniques in terms of who do you breed? Who do you breed to? How do you breed? How do you pick a stud dog? What health tests, because I think health testing is critically important, do you do? How do you socialize your dogs? How do you decide, yes, this would be a good home and a good owner? Because not all of them will be. How do you place your dogs? How do you breed a litter? How do you whelp a litter? How do you bring up the puppies? And all of this is a new endeavor that very shortly is going to be produced by AKC. And every breeder, whether they breed one litter in their lifetime, 2 litters, breed lots of litters, will benefit because the AKC is going to be putting money into and time into and effort into teaching us the best way to breed the best dogs.
Watch and look and as long as you can. Research the pedigrees. There are dogs out there. For a judge, every once in a while, I'll look down a line of dogs, and there's one that doesn't look anything like the others. That doesn't make you the wrong dog. That could very well make you the right dog. And don't be afraid to show something that you're proud of that you think is correct. And be a good sport and enjoy it. We depend on you breeders and continue while enjoying your silky terriers.
One of the reasons that we began immersing ourselves in conformation in particular, because we've been in the breed many, many years, but we found that conformation is the best way for people to see a lot of good canine dogs and in turn to try to promote the breed. We're not worried about it ever becoming so popular that we lose its pure essence, but what we really want is the breed to survive. And for people in future generations of dogs and future generations of people as well, to be able to look at these dogs that I'm looking out at over here and say, those are the dogs that have lived out in the Middle East and for thousands of years, and really are the forerunners of a lot of the breeds that we see around us today in the purebred dog world.
As soon as I started going to dog shows and everything, I looked around and I would see the people that looked like they were doing the right thing and people that were successful and people that had the good dogs. And, I was just a quiet kid. I never even spoke. I just watched. I was taught don't talk to strangers, speak when you're spoken to, you know. So I just watched everybody at the dog show, but I tried to take, you know, and learn good things from everybody. And, you know, I would see Peter Green, and I would see Mrs. Clark, and I would see Jane Forsythe, and I would see, you know, other people that were the top breeders. And I thought, you know, there's a reason they're good. It just didn't happen, you know. And, you know, it was, you know, just, I think it's crazy not to try to learn from everybody. I learned how to groom Pekingese from watching my friends with poodles and watching people with terriers and different things, and seeing all the little things they could do, and I thought, oh, maybe I can do a little bit of that with my Pekingese. And, you know, you can. So, you know, I think it's important to be mentored by the whole dog show. You know, try to learn from everybody, not just one person, you know. It's all out there for you to learn from if you just open your ears and open your eyes.